something special to be able to show that you're such a would-be kind citizen, that you don't want to get yourself in trouble with the government. So you're going to start trying to do things to protect you, yourself, and your family. What are you going to do? You're not driving a car and you're not running over 8 people. You're not carrying a weapon. You didn't fire and kill 7 people. But yet still, they're going to use these situations as a way to be able to, yes, lock you down, put you in a position where we have to protect you. We got to keep you safe. In order for us to keep you safe, we need you to give up your protective with the arms. We need you to give up those things that you use to protect your household. We need you to make sure that you don't have those things because they're very unsafe around you and your children. And thereby, they can make their way from around you and your children to schools, to churches, to malls. They want you to believe that this is such a danger that you got to give up all of your protective rights, all your protection, that they might be able to protect you. Let me help you out. The military is not going to come to protect you. There is something that's called the War Powers Act. I've been telling the majority of you that's been listening to me, I've been telling you this now for over 40 years. Those of you that came around in the 2000s, most of you got classes from me. 2015, 2014, 2013. Yes, you were able to visit me and sit with me in the flesh, one would say. But you didn't listen to anything I said. You were too busy trying to find some way to manipulate me or to even extort me to a point. You didn't care about what I was saying. What I was saying was not important. Plus, you didn't believe me anyway. I was a nobody. Which, there's a great resume in which I carry in my back pocket. I am a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody who can save anybody. I carry that resume. That's me. That's my identity. It's on my ID card. I have to make sure that I have it present on me at all times. Because I don't want you to kind of mistaken me for being Shaquille O'Neal, even though he's 7'4", and they still haven't been able to pick him out in the crowd of people that they might at least be able to inform him that they're trying to subpoena him based upon him being nothing more than one of the people that has been doing nothing more than advertising Bitcoin and all the other cryptocurrencies. Stay with me. I'm not attacking Shaquille O'Neal. I need you to understand the reality that if they're looking for you, they know where to find you. And if they don't come to find you, they're not really looking for you. I just need you to understand that. They got face recognition. They know each one of us. And trust me, that computer will tell them, even if it's identical twins, it could be identical triplets. It could be identical quadruplets. It could be tuplets, septuplets. They will still be able to tell each one of them by face recognition with that little bitty machine that they're carrying. So they're not looking for you. They're not trying to identify you. That's something you got to do for yourself. You got to identify yourself. Index. That's all I'm headed with that one. You got index. Because if you're not identified, they're going to make you disappear. And you're never going to be heard about, and you're never going to be found. I'm just giving you facts. Now, as my brother, Mark, is doing such a beautiful job informing you now about what's happening, what's coming down the pipe. He's talking to you about the drugs. He's talking to you about what happened in Texas. And I have to tell you, J-House ain't no different than no other state. Listen, right now in a place called Khalifa, you call it California, they are doing nothing more than talking about reparations. Now, I want you to hear what they're saying about reparations because they know back in 1997, when reparations was kind of hot, it was like pancakes. They were flipping it and they were cooking them and throwing them on a platter. It's just that no one was eating them, and especially nobody wanted to serve on them because they were already too sweet. Stay with me. You'll catch it in a minute. But anyway, they were letting people know then that, reparations was not to be given. As Governor Newsom would say now, if they bring him true documentation, he said he will make sure that they get their reparations. Now, I have to agree with him when we're talking about Governor Newsom. I don't care for him that much, but I have to follow him in truth right now. He's asking the melanated black folks to bring him true documentation, and he will give them the $1 million per resident that they're already allocating an allocation for, allocating it. This is what they want, $1 million per resident home. They want to give themselves. But listen, they're talking about taking this from something they have already voted as a reparations pool. It's like a money pool. Now I need you to hear the amount that they're talking about. $800 billion. Do that ring a bell to you? Let me help you out. That would be known as the world's trust. It was $875 billion, though, California. Let me get you straight on the amount. So you know it's not going to no reparations. Because we told you back in 1997, it's not about reparations. It's about restoration. Restoring. Not paying somebody something because you believe you owe them. Now, I can say Governor Newsom's got a great plan. And for all of the Negroes, African-American, colored folks that are there in California that's listening to my voice right now, let me say something to you. When he's asking you for true documentation, in order for you to be able to receive your reparation pay, you're not going to get it. Let me help you out. Why? Because there was no such thing as you having documents that you were bought here on no slave ship. You never came here on a slave ship. He can prove that. Governor Newsom can prove, he can prove beyond any reasonable doubt, that the niggas that are in the United States of America didn't come here on no ship. They have always been here. They were born here. They have lived here. They are dying here. And they have never been on a ship whatsoever. No ship. Most of them haven't even been out their neighborhoods. Most of them have not even traveled outside their neighborhoods. Some of them in their neighborhood, they don't even own cars. Some of them in their neighborhood, they don't ride bicycles. They don't ride motorcycles. And the only time they leave the neighborhood is when they go to school. And most of them are being bused to school. I'm just giving you facts so you can stop it with this so-called would-be reparations. All of you colored folks over there in California, stop it. You're not going to be able to give anybody any true documentation, legal documentation, where you came in on no slave ship from Africa, because you didn't. You're not African. They only gave you that title to make you feel important so you would shut up and stop whining about not having it. That's the reason they gave you that title. You're not an African-American. Barack Obama might be an African-American if he can prove that his daddy was from Kenya. He would be African-American, but you can't prove that your daddy was from Kenya because you're not from Kenya and your daddy wasn't from Kenya. Your daddy was more than likely from Mobile, Alabama. Or who knows, he possibly was from New Orleans, Louisiana. Your daddy could have been from Tuskegee, Alabama. He could have been from what would have been classified as would have been Atlanta, Georgia. But excuse me, he ain't came from no African nation. He didn't come from no African continent. And your relatives, they never been outside of the United States of America. They never visited a foreign country. So stop it with thinking that you're going to be able to give some true documentation to prove your so-called would-be being on some slave ship or being part of a family of inheritors that came from some foreign nation that were bought here as slaves. It's not true. I know some of you are getting angry with me about this, but I'm just giving you the facts. I need you to stop dreaming. Stop believing the lies in which your history teacher taught you. They told you a lie. The majority of you are Hebrew Israelites. You came from this land. You were created out of this land. You have always lived in this land. The majority of your fathers have lived here, they have bled here, they have cried here, and they have died here. And they have never been on a ship going to Africa or coming from Africa. Never. And you're not going to be able to prove that in anybody's court of law. So don't waste your time being embarrassed, looking like an idiot. Don't waste your time. Some of you black people are getting very angry at me, you melanated folks. Y'all are getting angry at me, but I'm telling you the truth. You look like an idiot going down there asking these people for something that already belongs to you. Help them out, El Shabazz. Where's Malcolm X when I need him? Oh, I keep forgetting. The people, they were so-called followers of his, and they were behind him doing nothing more than stabbing him in the back when he was telling them the truth. And they just didn't take what he told them to be truth. And he gave his life for it. Listen to me, colored folks, Negroes, you better wake up. You better come out of the dark and get some sense. You're the same people that keep believing that, oh, the banking system is going to get better. If it does, you tell me how much money you think you got to get. I know. You didn't have no money in the bank when the banks began to fall apart. You ain't going to have no money in the bank when the banks come back together. What makes you think you're about to get some money? You better wake up. Don't get angry with me. Don't get angry with me. This is your land. I told you before, blood is in the land. Life is in the blood. You came from the land. Everything in the land you own. That's your worth. It's called stored cash value. He who has the land owns the land. He owns the world. Prince Charles knows that. Why do you think he had a few niggas at his so-called coronation? He had to have them there. He's trying to make friends with them. Things that Queen Elizabeth wouldn't do. No, she didn't have to make friends with them because she had them bound and with these so-called ankle bracelets and neck bracelets. And they wasn't the kind with rubies and diamonds on them either. They were called shackles. Stop playing with me and be quiet and listen. So as long as she had them in those kind of bracelets and necklaces, she didn't have to worry about them talking. She didn't have to worry about them taking the land back from her and putting her back in her would-be so-called trailer park trash. Stay with me. I don't care about him getting angry. I wish he would come talking to me crazy. I need you to understand. You need to take back the reality of truth. Once you take back the reality of truth, everything is going to change for you. It's going to get better. It has to. Reparations. California, stop it. That's how all y'all ended up on Skid Row. Eating pizza on Skid Row. Everybody down on Skid Row can tell you that. Yes, they share drugs just like they share food on Skid Row. Don't tell me. I've been there before. I wasn't afraid to go down there and talk and meet and greet people and skid row. I sure wasn't. I went from San Francisco to Los Angeles. I was there in Compton. I got good friends and still in Compton. And they will tell you to this day, yeah, I visited purposely. Even during the so-called would-be riot time, I was there in White. I went to see what was going on there. Watch was going down. Everyone was fighting. There was looting going on. And they accused the black folks of looting their own property. No, they wasn't looting their own property. They were looting the property that belonged to them, but others was living on it. Reginald Denny was just as guilty as anyone else. I understand those black brothers that saved his life. That was the truck driver, that they pulled him out of the riot, protecting him from the rest of the would-be oncoming so-called would-be rioters and the people that were doing nothing more than looting and killing. A few black men saved Reginald Denny. But Reginald Denny was nothing innocent about him. I'm not afraid to say that. We have to call truth. He was there as nothing more than a spy. He was doing his job. We have to agree. But his job was not a job that should have been going down in a melanated community anyway. We just have to face the truth. Come on, people. Stop it. Reparations. I told you before, and I'm going to say this again to all you melanated people in the United States of America. It is not about reparations. Reparations is you saying to someone they owe you for the work in which you have done. You ain't do no work. Everything you did on that land was for yourself. You wasn't working for them. Because if you didn't do that work, you would have died. You would have either starved or they would have killed you. But that was all work for yourself. And you need to understand that was your land. So you're not asking anybody to pay you for your job well done or your services well rendered. You're telling them restoration. Restore me back to what was mine before you came here. Restore me back to it. Jubilee. I've been here for more than 49 years. My family was there for longer than 49 years. It was their property to begin with. After 49 years, on the 50th year, you are to return it in fullness. You claim 250 years. Last time I checked, you have to have 2 50s and 100. That's 2. You got 200. That's 4. You're talking about 150. Last time I checked, that was 5 jubilees. That's the jubilee of grace, and you still got your cracker self in the way. What part are you not getting that now? This is no longer your jubilee to be given, but this is God's jubilee to be given through 550 years of jubilee in which you have not yet rendered back to our people, in whom you were nothing more than guests here on our land. You have bought in the red people. You claim that this was their land. It's not their land. And let me say something to you red people. I love you. You are a mixture of me. For the matter of fact, those white redneck people mix their blood with your blood and my blood. And that's where you came from. I'm not afraid to tell you that. But I need you to understand. You're going down there to talk to those white people at the White House. You're wearing all of those feathers on your head. Let me explain something to you. That white boy that's down there, he see you coming. He knows all those feathers on your head represent something that is known as a war bonnet. He's sitting there and he's saying, how can this red, pale-faced, red, so-called cracker he's calling you, how can he be coming down here to talk peace wearing a war bonnet, talking about land I owe him? He's not coming in peace, not when he's wearing a war bonnet. He's got his face painted with war paint. How can he be coming here talking to me about peace and his land when he's wearing a war bonnet and war paint? All I can see is war. You better wake up, red people, and get on board to understand we are one. You are my family, and I'm telling you the truth, just like I'm telling those melanated Indians. I'm talking to you red Indians because you are still Indians of color. You can't keep going down there talking to these white boys that know nothing but war, with war paint on your face and war bonnets on your head, because when he see you coming, he see war, not peace. You better get butt naked, take that war paint off your face, and you better get you a butter knife or something and go down there and start finding some toast so you can grab some butter and spread it on it and then talk to him. That's the only way you're going to be able to find peace. I'm just telling you the truth. Stop it. At what point would you become knowledgeable of the truth and deal with it? I'm not attacking you. I need you to wake up. Come on, tribal chief. I talk to many of you all the time. You tell me you got 17 tribes. You tell me you got 1 million would-be so-called people, members of the tribe. You're telling me you got 17 million here. You're telling me you got 18 million here. If you got so many tribal members, why is it that you're asking a nation that only has 328 million people to give you back your land? If you got 17 million here, 17 million there. Last time I checked, the Caucasian world, Caucasian world in America is no more than 100 would-be strong, 100 would-be so-called Caucasian Caucasians in America, period. And you then gave me a number at outnumber them. Why are you asking someone that you outnumber? It's obvious you're not reading the Holy Scriptures, because the Holy Scripture says that when you come back, you was going to take it by force. I'm not asking you to fight. I'm just telling you what the Scripture said. I'm giving you the prophecy of the book while you wasting your time going down there with war paint on your face, a war bonnet on your head, and you want to talk peace to a nation that don't understand peace. All they know is war. That's all they know. Go ahead. Think about it. It's not me. It has nothing to do with me. Most of you want to bring a complaint against the United States of America. It has already happened. We already brought a complaint against the United States of America. We already taken them to the international court. We took them to the world court. We've taken them to all of the Supreme Courts of every nation. And America lost the case. They have been told to comply. They have not yet complied. And you still want to bring some accusation? You still want to charge them with something? With what? What are you going to do that we haven't already done? Let me help you out. Because right now, we're all about enforcing the law. Not trying to get the law to hear us. We're about enforcing it. That means that all the nations around, 198 nations right now, are telling America to comply or prepare to go to war. That's what they're doing right now. They don't care nothing about raising the debt ceiling. America's trying to borrow more money. They done borrowed, as they would say, in their account. They believe that they have only borrowed $31 trillion. Let me help you out. Right now, America's in debt about $900 trillion. And they only think $31 trillion, so they want to at least be able to borrow another $2.1 trillion to keep their nation open, or to keep what they believe to be some nation open. Who are they going to borrow this money from? Have you ever thought about that? Who are they borrowing it from? Who? You believe they borrowed it from Jesus Christ? Or are they borrowing it from God? Allah? Adonai? Yahweh? Who are they borrowing this money from? I need you to tell me. Who is America going to get a loan from? The Federal Reserve don't have no money. They already told you that. IMF don't have any money. They already told you that. Your Silicon Valley banks done told you they don't have any money. I know. You got those people like Elon Musk. You got those people like Warren Buffett. You got those people like Munger. You got those people that Rupert Murdoch is claiming they have billions of dollars, and you just believe that they got enough money to put together to keep your nation together. And when they themselves will tell you they don't have any money. Because if the banks don't have no money, they don't have no money. The banks don't have no credit, they don't have no credit. I'm just giving you facts. And they're not going to get any credit. They're listening to me because they know before they can get any credit, somebody's got to sign off on it. They know who has to sign off on it. They're not going to force me to do anything. They already know that they need living DNA. They need living DNA and RNA. That's the way it was wrote up. Not only by man, it was wrote up by God that way. Come on. Wise guy, you ain't figured it out yet. I close my eyes, your world in too. You better wake up. You can let me along with them if you want to. I close my eyes, I say to you, if I close my eyes, I'm going to close the door to heaven and earth, and you would have never been. Test me. I need you to. I don't care anything about them having a war in Texas where they're killing our people every day. I don't care. They got nothing to do with me. Yeah, I go to the mall. So what? I go to schools. So what? I'm not in fear of any of that. Whatever y'all have planned, there will be no way around it. Not even for me. So I do not concern myself with that. What I do concern myself with is I'm not about to let some so-called American government that's trying to borrow money from me make me believe that I need them more than they need me. Not going to happen. And I'm saying this now so they can hear it. I don't care anything about Barack Obama. And I need them to understand, no, he is not a first black president. He will never be a first black president to me. He came from between the legs of a white woman. How are you going to be the first black president? Stay with me. I'm not trying to be vulgar. I just need you to understand the reality of truth. Black men don't come from between the legs of a white woman unless he's already done something to make her feel good. Stay with me. Leave me alone. I won't come in that manner if you don't touch me like that. I say again, he came from between the legs of a white woman. Thereby, he can never be a black president for me. Not for me. You want to claim that? You go right ahead. Not me. If he didn't come from between the legs of a black woman, he can never be a black president for me. You can tell him I said so. He's listening. You don't get no more diverse than that. But meantime, while you still want to be angry with me about what I said about him, let's just take a break so we both can cool down.